Hey everybody, welcome back to United SoundBites. I'm Joey,
I'm Sean.
and we are here today to talk about
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yes.
A little extension to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, since this is kind of capping off phase 3, I should say, phase 3 of the universe. Um
Spoilers.
oh
That's your warning. Considering that's your
Oh
warning.
my
Your one
gosh.
and only warning.
Yeah, spoilers if you don't want to be warned.
What?
Oh my.
Okay, if you don't want the movie to be spoiled, I would advise you click out of this video, exit, leave, don't come back until you've seen it.
I'm just gonna shut up.
But after you've seen it, you can come back.
Yeah.
And listen to us say stuff about it.
Yeah. Because we're gonna get pretty in depth here. Because it was very exciting, I think, for the both of us.
Yeah.
So let's get into it, man.
All right.
Whoa. We both saw this movie yesterday.
Oh, you saw it yesterday too? I thought you saw it before.
No, I saw it yesterday.
Oh.
It was Saturday.
Alrighty.
Yeah. I've been really wanting to see this. For those of you that don't know, most of you probably don't know, I'm a Spider-Man fanatic. I really love Spider-Man. I've enjoyed a lot of things. I've actually been him for kids' birthday parties. And he's a character that's meant a lot to me, and it meant a lot to a lot of people because he's so relatable.
Especially the new one. I think Tom Holland's pretty relatable.
Tom Holland is really relatable, and he plays a great Peter Parker for the MCU.
I think he's the best one, in my opinion. I'm sure you think differently.
I think we should get into discussion about that a little later.
Okay.
So let's just get into general thoughts of the movie. Or do you kind of want to go through it together as if it's like a commentary, like what we remember, and just then describe our thoughts along the way?
Sure. Well, let's just go along the way.
Okay.
So what was?
Do you want to start?
Let's try to go scene by scene, but not
okay.
actually.
No,
scene
that's
by
fine.
Scene,
that's fine with me.
All right. So let me think back here.
The opening.
I can't remember what it was.
Nick Fury.
Yeah, he gets out of the car with that chick, and they're in Mexico. And
yes.
The cyclone with the face.
Yeah, and then Jake Gyllenhaal comes in, says you don't want part of this.
Yeah, and then he smacks.
And then
the big old
and it was
man.
Yes, and right off the bat, when the monster came out of the ground, the music was great.
The first thing I noticed was that this was kind of whack. Seemed wrong. Didn't seem right.
The music?
No, I mean the whole sequence.
Oh, you didn't like it?
No, I mean off as in I was suspicious of Mysterio from the beginning.
Oh. Well, and rightfully so.
Yeah, I mean
you're a pretty big Spider-Man fan, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know stuff.
Yeah. Okay, well that's good. It shouldn't have been that big of a surprise to a lot of people. I was talking to two of my other friends the other day. You know them. And she was like, that twist with Mysterio I didn't see coming.
I saw that.
And
saw that from 500 miles away.
Yeah, are you
talking
about?
I
watched. I've read some of the comics and I have some of them here, but I was a really big fan of. I still am. I actually watched these recently, because I went into this whole Spider-Man craze again. But I rewatched the Spider-Man animated series from the 90s, and then I watched for the first time the Spectacular Spider-Man. The Spectacular Spider-Man, I think, in general, in TV and movies, he's the best. Peter Parker. And I think a lot of people agree on that too.
Wrong.
But whoa, we'll get into the movies in a second.
All right. Well, let's move on. What happened next?
Yeah.
I feel like you have a better memory than me.
All right. Well, then what happened next was in Comic Sans we have In Memoriam pop up, and it's the slideshow of all the dead
that
Avengers.
Was so funny because we were talking about.
Yeah.
Because in high school we took this because I was with two of my other friends who were in. We took this class, TV media, and we were like, this looks like something that someone would make in that class. And they were like, you know what, this looks like Katie or the TV news for our school. And then it comes up and it actually is the news for the school. And I was like, well, makes sense.
Oh yeah, no, it was so well done, I think, what they did in the opening. Some people were saying they didn't like it because they thought they were making fun of the Avengers.
No, it's just kids.
I don't.
They're making fun of
it's
kids
just
in high
kids.
school.
Could you imagine if we lived in a world with the Avengers?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, that'd be crazy.
Our generation would be memeing the shit out of this stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm sorry to say, but it would happen. But yeah, so that happened. That was really great. We get reintroduced. Yes, the blip. They talk about that, and they talk about how
the Asian
Peter
kid.
Parker. Yeah. How he kind of, he was young, and then 5 years later he grew up, and Peter Parker and all his friends were gone in the blip, and then came back.
Yeah.
So that kind of explained that. I knew some people were worried about that. I like the fact that they called it the blip because they didn't know really what happened. Yeah. They handled that very well.
Yeah,
and
I think they did.
Then we get reintroduced to Peter Parker and Ned. And Mary Jane, not Mary Jane, I'm sorry, MJ, that has a different name in this movie.
Same initials.
It's not Mary Jane. She comes up, and we find out Peter has a little crushy on her.
He's got the plan.
He's got the plan. That's right.
And that said,
were you like that in high school?
No, I didn't have a plan. I just went with the flow, man.
All right, that's good, man.
I didn't plan anything out.
That's okay. It's good to go with the flow. I went with the flow sometimes. Let's move on. So, so we got introduced to them. We kind of understand the basic premise.
They're going to Europe.
They're going to Europe.
It's like, we gotta be bachelors.
Yes.
And Peter's like, nah, I got this plan.
Also, yes. Also, Aunt May knows Peter Parker's Spider-Man, as we know. And she's got a little thing going on with Happy. They explore it very little.
Yes.
Very little bit. I don't know if I wanted more or less of that. I think it was just right the way they left it.
I wanted a little bit more.
I think it'll be good to expand on the third film.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So that happens. Peter Parker's going around some of these charity events, doing the Spider-Man thing. He's seen as a hero. Yeah. They go off to Europe. He doesn't want to deal with the struggle of being a superhero.
Yeah, he's just the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah. And they get on the plane, and I think this was a really great sequence because one of the things that makes Peter Parker as a character so appealing is the fact that nothing goes his way.
Oh, yeah.
Everything always goes wrong. And I think this plane sequence was really great because, he wanted to sit next to MJ, but he couldn't. So he asked Ned to kind of switch seats. And, so Ned came up with this excuse that he had a perfume allergy. And the teacher came over and was like, you have a perfume allergy. So he sat next to the teacher. And MJ was kind of getting close with this Asian
guy. I forget
fellow.
what his name was.
Yeah.
Gilbert?
It's not important. Yeah.
No, it was like I don't remember.
Yeah, but I thought that was just a great sequence because it just kind of demonstrated his luck, the Peter Parker luck. So we get that. Things aren't going so well for him. We find out Nick Fury follows him
Back to the hotel.
Well, wait, yeah, back to the hotel. Because
Was this
earlier
after?
that day, Hydro Man came out
Yeah.
and Mysterio was fighting him.
Yeah.
Um, which was a cool sequence.
Yeah, I liked it.
Right when that, and also when that sequence came on, I was hooked, man, because the action sequences were beautiful and organized.
Yeah, I think they looked really
You
good.
had, yeah, you had an idea of where people are in the scene, and that is incredibly important when you're doing fight scenes or dramatic scenes. Um, it's super important. If you look at Jurassic Park: The Lost World, the second one, a lot of people didn't like that. I thought it was great that Spielberg took a different approach. If you look at that scene when that cart is hanging off the cliff, what makes it so dramatic is that you know where everyone is.
Yeah.
You know, it's and you can relate to that. You can relate. Okay, Vince Vaughn is up here. This girl's about to break through the glass. This bag is about to fall, but no one can reach it. And it's great. It's a great sequence. I think this movie did that pretty well. Not, I mean, it very fast paced. That's what it was. It was fast paced action, fun action. You understood what was happening. Great music. I loved the trumpets, everything like that.
Yeah, I
Do you
mean,
want to talk a little bit? I feel like
yeah. uh, the whole time I couldn't stop thinking like, this dude's whack. He's sus. This isn't real.
What?
The whole time I'm thinking that because like Mysterio, like I'm just thinking
Oh,
yeah.
Mysterio. Okay.
I was just like it's sus that and the way that he just destroyed it, and it just like it wasn't like it died, it just kind of like disappeared. I'm like, but how does he know it's dead?
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I'm trying to think, because I'm like, at this point I'm like, yeah, Mysterious, I'm thinking for sure he ain't real, like he's just making this stuff up. But and I'm like, how are they gonna spin this? How is this gonna? Because I'm like, I'm just the whole time I'm thinking like, how is he doing this? Like what's behind it?
Yeah. I think what they did was really great with the character.
Yeah.
Because it's what he would do.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has a background in theater and he has a background in magic and performance.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that he would put on this big production because that's the only way he can beat Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So,
well, I don't even think he's trying to beat Spider-Man though in the beginning.
Oh no, he's not.
He just wanted to become the next Iron Man.
He's not. Yeah. Let's get into that because Iron Man gives Spider-Man the glasses.
Yeah. What is his name? Edith.
Edith is the AI.
Yeah, and he almost kills his friend. Well.
Yeah.
Classmate, not friend.
Yeah, no, that was a funny sequence.
Yeah, I thought that was funny how he took the picture of him in his underwear with that lady.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, they did a really nice job with that sequence, and I thought it was very touching that Tony wanted Peter to have this.
Yeah. I was just thinking, how is he gonna screw this up?
Yeah. I mean, because he is just a kid, but he's learning, and that's a good thing. So anyway,
they're going.
They fight another
Prague,
monster.
Right? This is on the way to Prague.
Yeah, they're rerouted because
Nick Fury's
Peter's
like, hey, yo,
yeah,
you need to come to Prague, and he's like, nah, and then the teacher's like, hey, we got upgraded.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then they go to Prague.
It's just what a coincidence.
Yeah, and then they go to the opera because Peter asks Edith to find somewhere where they can all be inside, and they go to the opera, and everyone's like, I don't want to go to the opera. I want to go to the street fair we were supposed to go to. And then the big old lava monster who's supposed to end the world comes out of the ground, and everyone's like, oh no, we should have been at the opera.
Which once again was a really great sequence.
Yeah.
It was
even more proof to my theory when I was in the movie that Mysterio isn't real.
Right. Right. Uh, how he defeated that
Yeah, I was like,
guy and he
nah,
was
like
still alive.
nope, this isn't.
Um, yeah, but all this was a ploy to get Peter's trust, right?
Yeah,
So then, they're in the bar,
yeah,
they're talking. Mysterio gets the glasses. Peter leaves, and then we see the projection dissipate.
yeah.
And then he's like, "Get this suit off of me."
Barf.
um, and you could tell Jake Gyllenhaal was having a great time with the character, and
Yeah,
I was so happy to see that. Um, so he gives this whole kind of exposition speech, and you know what? I would hate on it because exposition speeches are
I
overdone.
think it was perfect.
I think, I mean, it made sense logically, and you know, I just could not have a good time with it. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I think it fit really well in the time that it was, and it really gave you the background because you're trying to think like, what's up with this? Like, what's happening? Like, what? I was
Right.
confused. I was like, what is this? Like, what's
Right.
going
It
on?
was it
And
was
then
a
that
nice
explained everything.
Yeah, it was a nice connection to have, the guy from the original Iron Man and then, Jake Gyllenhaal, but he invented the system that Iron Man used in Civil War. No, yes. Uh, it was great. It was I had a you understood what was happening and
Yeah,
you liked it. So needless to say, Mysterio is the bad guy. Spider-Man kind of has his thing with Mary Jane, but Mary Jane guesses that he's Spider-Man. I didn't know how I felt about that
I
for a
mean,
second.
she was only 67% sure.
Yeah, that's true. So, but she acted like she owned it, and that's a cool thing.
Well, no, but that's who the character is, though. She didn't actually.
Well, that's how her version of the character is. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Then they find
the
the
projector.
yes in
So
her
I was
backpack.
wondering, during the fight scene, you could actually see it come off, and I was confused.
Could you see it come off?
Yeah, I forget
Okay.
because I was like, wait, what is that? That looks important, and then I didn't know what it was, and then when she pulled it out, I was like, oh, that's what it was. And then
Yeah.
yeah, and then they have the Avengers level threat that
Yes.
Mysterio's gonna destroy.
Yeah.
And what do
And
you
you
know? They get the class trip goes to London.
mm-hmm. Yep. Because that's where Jake Gyllenhaal needs to be to become a hero. So the class trip heads off to London. So now Mary Jane knows
But what
Peter's
was
Spider
before
Man.
this though? So she knows,
Right, 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 right,
right?
right.
And then he tells him the whole thing with the projector. They
Yeah,
all get
Ned.
it, Ned, her, and they get it, right? And then Spider-Man's like,
Yes.
I gotta go. And
Yeah,
then he
yeah.
goes to Berlin, but so he tells Ned to tell whoever that he's going to stay with family in Berlin until it blows over.
Mm-hmm.
But then he gets to Berlin, and Nick Fury's there, and he gets in the car, and then he goes to the place, and then he gets in there, and then he's like, wait a minute, Mysterio's here. And
Yeah.
then boom, Nick Fury got shot by whatever. I don't know. And then you have that whole crazy illusion
Yes. Such great CGI
that blew my
VFX.
mind. Like that whole thing, it was just like,
So great. You know what it kind of reminded me of? A little bit of the Doctor Strange
oh
sequence.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, but this was wonderful. The music, the sound effects,
Yeah, one thing I
and
don't know
just
though, how did Mysterio think a train was gonna kill Spider-Man?
I don't know. He survived trains in previous movies and in cartoons. He's
Like my guy really thought a train was gonna kill Spider-Man? Like, come on, man.
well, naive, I guess.
Yeah, well, I feel like he didn't actually want to kill him himself, so he just
Yeah,
was like, oh, a train,
yeah.
that sounds good. Yeah, but then Peter winds up in the Netherlands. And he
Yes.
gets happy to fly him out of there. But I thought it was weird with the
Mm-hmm.
whole jail cell thing because I didn't know the Netherlands was like I know they were making fun of the people in the Netherlands by doing that. With the whole
Yeah,
jail
yeah.
cell, they close the door after Peter breaks the lock and whatever. And then the guy
Yeah.
was wearing the hat or the Spider-Man's mask,
Yeah.
or the spider monkey or whatever it's called, the dark monkey, the night
Yeah.
monkey.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I thought that was funny, but
Yeah, no, there are a lot of funny jokes, um, too, in this film.
yeah,
Um, so eventually we find out Mysterio's big scheme
he's
with
got
the
the drones.
projectors. He's got the drones, the projectors, he's got access to Edith. The major showdown happens uh after Peter's rescued by Happy and builds his new suit, kind
Yeah,
of, simulating that he's got some resemblance to Tony
Tony
Stark
Stark.
when he's
Yeah,
building it, and which was a
I think
nice
that's pretty
little
nice.
nod, you know. So
Yeah,
then he goes with the new suit, looks great,
yeah, and
kicking butt.
Nick Fury, Happy gives him the secret message to Nick Fury, and he gets it. And he sends
Yes,
the
yeah,
chick to the
yeah,
roof. To be like, "You got me, right?" and, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
Spider-Man flies in from the top
So great.
with his parachute thing, his wingsuit,
Mm-hmm.
and
And they're like, "Whoa,
he's
there
like,
he
"Wait a
is."
minute, it's Spider-Man." Nick Fury's like, "All right," and then
Yeah.
Spider-Man flies into the center of the illusion and starts shocking all the drones, and then it starts fading away.
Yeah.
And then the one that's in front of Nick Fury fades away, and it becomes visible. And then the lady shoots it with the rocket launcher. I was like, "Hey,
Yes.
that's cool."
It's great. It's awesome stuff. And I also really like the line that Jake Gyllenhaal says when, his guy's worrying and, you know, Mysterio's like, they will see
What
what
I
I
want
want
them
them
to
to
see,
see.
yeah.
Yeah, which we find out later. Um, so this is a very epic fight. Once again, I loved it. Um, action was great. Visual effects, mind blowing. Music, wonderful. Um, as you probably guessed, Peter saves the day, and he has a very very nice, cute moment with MJ, and
Yeah.
they give each other a little kiss. It's been building up, very sweet.
The people next to me in the theater were going crazy. I was like, "Oh my god, please stop."
You're right, right? um, it was a nice ending. Um, Mysterio does die in the end, but not before his last thing that we see a
Yeah,
little later.
the end credit scene.
Yes. So the mid credit. Should we move on to that now,
Yeah.
since we covered pretty much the film? What'd you think of the mid credit scene?
I mean, I mean, I don't know. What do you think first?
I loved it. I loved it for a multitude of reasons. So, Peter kind of gets done with his date with MJ. He hops up on the thing. The news person kind of comes up. And the anchor also, let me just say, was pretty believable. All right, just the way he was talking, it seemed like he was talking like an actual anchor.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that. I don't know if many people felt that way or caught on to it.
Wait a minute.
But
Were there two end credit scenes and I missed one?
Yeah, there was one at the end.
What?
The very
I missed it.
I'll have to describe it, man.
Yeah, you have to. Because I was thinking mid credit. I'm like, wait a minute, there were two.
Yeah.
That's why I let you explain. So I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh man, dude. So anyway, he looks up on the thing. And he's like, "There's a controversial news site, thedailybugle.net."
Yeah, that was definitely like Infowars.
Yes, yeah, it very much represented that, and I loved it.
Yeah,
and of
sure.
course, none other than J.K. Simmons coming back to reprise his role as J. Jonah Jameson. Perfect casting. Everyone pretty much agrees that ever since the Raimi films, no one could kind of top his performance as JJJ. So that was a great nod. I flipped out in my seat, literally, because I'm a big Raimi fanatic, and we'll get into that a little later. And it was very nice that he kind of has like his own podcast or his own web show or whatever. I thought that was great, kind of keeping up with the modern times.
Yeah.
And end of Spider-Man: Homecoming ended with Aunt May saying, "What the fuck?" And then same with this film, Peter says, "What the fuck?" And then
Yeah.
they cut. Then
That
the
blew my
last
mind,
credit
though,
scene.
man.
Oh, I know. Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, man, what is gonna happen? I gotta
yeah,
wait
no.
another
Yeah,
year.
I completely,
What?
I completely forgot. He reveals that it's Peter Parker
Yeah. And he's like, Peter
to
Parker
the world.
killed me. He used
Yes, yeah,
the drones. He wants
yes,
to be the
yes.
next Iron Man. You Stark
Yeah,
Tech.
so yeah,
Like,
you
please.
all right? You summed it up for me, man.
Yeah. And I was like, what? I walked out of the movie theater. I was like, what? And I'm like,
Yeah, so
let me put a timer on for a year real quick, and so I can.
yeah, um, that was great, and that referred to what he was saying. They will see what I want them to see.
Exactly.
Which he really screwed him over.
Yeah.
So, it's revealed Peter Parker's Spider-Man, and he flips out. Then the rest of the credits go by, showing all the wonderful people that made this movie. And then we get to the end credit scene where we find out that Nick Fury and How I Met Your Mother girl were actually Skrull the whole time. They were shapeshifters.
What?
So they're in the car. Yep.
What?
They're in the car.
I missed this?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
I kind of feel bad for spoiling it for you. So it's
Excuse
and
me.
it's
I'll be right back. I need to go die real quick. But I'll be back once I think about this and my life and what it now is now that Nick Fury is a Skrull. But yeah.
Well, we see the real Nick Fury later. I'm not done yet.
Okay, I need to hear the rest.
All right, so
what else? And then I'll go die.
Oh man. So what happens is he gets a call from Nick Fury, and they're in the car, they change back to Skrull, and it's actually the guy from Rogue One who played the Skrull in Captain Marvel. It was him, and someone else, and another one of the Skrulls. And they get a call from the actual Nick Fury. Or no, they call him, and he's like, I can't do this anymore. I don't know what half these people are talking about. They're saying all this stuff, and I'm just confused. I can't be you, It's hard. So anyway, Nick Fury hangs up the call, and we see he's on a beach, right? Lounging. But then the camera pulls back, and it reveals that he's not on a beach. He's in space on a spaceship with a bunch of other Skrulls. And it was kind of like a simulated beach. So he gets up and he walks to the window, and that's it. I don't know what it meant. But it was a really interesting tie-in.
Wow. Now I have a lot to think about.
Yeah, I have to let you sit on that. And apparently if you go back and watch the movie again, they kind of hint that, it's not the real Nick Fury.
I thought it seemed kind of off, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But,
really interesting
maybe it
twist.
wasn't the real Nick Fury the whole time. Like, the whole time he was actually just on that spaceship with the Skrulls with Captain Marvel at the end of the Captain Marvel movie. And, it's just been a Skrull being Nick Fury the whole time.
That would be weird.
Yeah.
That would be really crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's the case, though.
That makes sense.
But it's something to think about, yeah. So that was the film.
I thought it was amazing.
And
100 out of 100. 100% of Rotten Tomatoes. That's my official reading.
Wow, that's great, man. I put it up there with. It's in my top 3. Somewhere, with Spider-Man 1 and 2. With Tobey. I thought this was really good. Huh?
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. I think this is a good time to shift gears and talk about why I'm a big Raimi fan. Let me just get this out of the way first.
Can I pee
I don't
first?
hate Tom. Huh?
I gotta pee.
Oh,
I
you
gotta
want to
use the
pee?
potty.
All right, you can go, man.
I'll use the potty. I'll be back.
Okay. I'll just talk about other things right now. What should I talk about? Mm, yeah, so I really enjoyed this film. I enjoyed it a little more than Homecoming, which I know some people kind of didn't. Uh, but I did. I thought this was just a really fun summer film. I don't think it's what Spider-Man is kind of supposed to be. Um, but I'm glad we had. You know what? I'm happy we had this movie, and I had a great time with it. I really enjoyed being there, being present with the audience, clapping, cheering, gasping. It made me feel like a summer movie should feel, and I can't wait to have it in my collection of Blu-rays with all my other Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. So I'm really excited to add it, and I'm not mad what they did at all. I'm going to get into why I like the Raimi films just a little better though. I'll get into that probably now. I think he's back. Are you back?
Yes.
Great. So let me just tell you this before we start having this conversation.
Let me get back in my seat.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Now we're back.
I don't hate Tom Holland.
That's not
I
good.
think. Huh?
Do you like him?
I love him.
Okay, but you don't. Okay.
No, all right, here's the thing. I think he's a fantastic actor. I think he plays an MCU Spider-Man super well. He plays Peter Parker really well. The reason I like the Raimi films a little better is because they stay more true to earlier comics and what Spider-Man was and his appeal. This Spider-Man was kind of thrown into the MCU, so there's a lot of differences. You know, there's a
Yeah.
lot of other things happening and obstacles. And I like the Spider-Man we have in MCU. I really do. I'm really happy with what they did with him, what they're doing in the films now, and I want them to keep doing it. But the reason I appeal a little more to the Raimi films is, like I said, it reflects the life of Peter and what it means to take up the mantle of Spider-Man, because what made him so appealing is he's just an ordinary guy balancing ordinary things.
Yeah.
At the end of Spider-Man 1, and also Tobey Maguire, he's not a bad-looking guy, but he's not a good-looking guy. He's average. You know, Peter Parker was just average. He was
Yeah, I
just
think
an
that's the
average
one
guy.
thing with Tom Holland. He's not average.
Right, yeah. He was blessed and cursed with the responsibility of being Spider-Man. So, you know, when he gets bit by the spider and he has that intimate talk with Uncle Ben, which is the reason why he's still Spider-Man, is because of Uncle Ben. Um, Even at the end of the film, we see him go through this arc where Mary Jane, Kirsten Dunst, in the movie, kisses Peter. Is like, I love you, I want to be with you. Peter wants to be with MJ so badly. And he can't. He said he wanted to tell her I love you too, but he couldn't, because if people realized he was Spider-Man, his identity got out, that would affect Mary Jane. And he had to make the hard choice to just walk away from her and say, I will always care for you as a friend. And he had to walk away after the fact that Harry thinks Spider-Man killed his father, Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. His best friend believed that Spider-Man, his alter ego, killed his father, and now he hates Spider-Man. So now you got that dynamic going on. But I think a lot of people relate to Spider-Man 2 even more, is because now you're seeing him in full swing. Now you're seeing him failing at school, can't keep up his relationships. He all because he's giving up all this stuff because he's Spider-Man. He has to give up a normal life, and he's worried about his Aunt May. She can't pay off the debt, and he's trying to get money for her. But he's trying to take photos for the Daily Bugle. But J. Jonah Jameson isn't giving that to him, and it's real problems, and he's struggling, and he struggles with the fact to tell his Aunt May the truth about Uncle Ben, how he was there the night that he died, and it was kind of his fault that Uncle Ben died, or so he feels, because of the whole wrestling incident, how he let the robber get away because the wrestling guy didn't pay Peter the money that he deserved. It's movies and moments like that where he's a real character and it's just Spider-Man. There's no other heroes, which I don't mind the other heroes. I love the MCU. But there was something special about just him and him feeling he has the responsibility to uphold and save these people because he has this power. He's able to do something about it. He doesn't want other people to lose their Uncle Bens. And it's such a heartwarming message, and we see him go through this huge arc, especially in Spider-Man 2. He's struggling. There's always a consequence. Always, no matter what.
The reason that I don't like any of the other Spider-Mans, really, is just because I never got into superhero movies at all. Like, Marvel is the only thing I actually liked, and just because it's so expansive. I mean, I never really watched the original Spider-Mans, like, super closely, but I might have to.
Yeah, they're I'd say check them out.
Yeah, I mean, I had the game for GameCube a while back, but
yeah. I feel like that got really serious for a second. I kind of want to bring up the mood a little bit, but I think that's why people relate to Spider-Man, and that's why I lean toward that just a little more. That's all.
I just like the expansiveness. I like how Tom Holland's Spider-Man fits into the MCU.
Well, yeah, it's great. It's great, and what they did is great. And I think people that don't like it just don't understand that this is a world where the Avengers had such an impact, and it's completely different.
Yeah.
And if you hate those movies, you have the Raimi movies to go back to. What I'm saying is, I like the Raimi movies just a little more, but I understand it's a different universe, and I love this Spider-Man 2, and I'm on board with him, and I want to keep going on this. That's what I love.
Yeah.
Oh, I talked a lot for that. I feel like I just put people to sleep talking about.
You almost put me to sleep, man. I almost felt I was like, nah.
Well.
But yeah, I mean, this was
everyone
great.
has their own
I
taste.
feel like though, like the original two Spider-Mans, like I know they're all right, but like the last two Spider-Mans that I saw, I'm like, damn, these are some good ass movies. Like both of them, like Homecoming and Far From Home.
Homecoming and
I was like,
they were good
because they finally did something different with Spider-Man. That's what I liked about it. I didn't like the same old.
They did do something different for sure, and
a lot different.
yeah, I think it works in some regards, and in some others, I think I would have liked them to keep some elements of the character the same.
Yeah.
But like I said, I really enjoy where they're going with this, and I'm so excited to see what they're doing with the next one. You said it's coming out next year?
I don't know when it's coming out.
Oh.
It might be 2 years.
Oh, jeez.
But we'll probably get something about it. Like the whole scroll thing, we'll probably get something about that in the next movie.
Yeah, you're right.
Whichever one comes after this in the timeline, which
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. What is the next Marvel movie? Let's find out.
I have to say, I thought this was a solid cap on
Phase 3.
Phase 3, yeah.
Okay, here's what comes after Far From Home. So Black Widow movie. So that's not gonna have anything. The Eternals. This could have something about it,
Hmm?
but it's based on the comic series by Jack Kirby, and it's about the immortal beings. Like I don't know if who would be that. Script is revolved around the love between Icarus and a man fueled by cosmic energy and Circe, who relishes moving among humans. Okay, and then the next one's Shang-Chi. It's we it's about some kung fu thing with I don't know. It's the first Asian guy.
Hmm.
And then so Guardians Volume 3. I think this is when we'll see something about the scrolls.
Hmm.
And we'll probably get Adam Warlock. I'm thinking maybe the Silver
Yeah.
Surfer, but I
Yeah.
doubt it.
Right.
But that's not until 2020. After
Okay. So
2020.
next year.
And then Doctor Strange 2, which I'm sure we'll see something.
I can't wait for that.
That's
Yeah.
be great. Black Panther 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we got. I wasn't a huge fan of Black Panther, but all right. That's just me. I thought, I mean, I feel like it was a good movie, but like, did it deserve all the acclaim now? I feel like the only reason it was super popular is because, race. But what you gonna do about it?
Once again, I don't want to say anything that's going to get me in trouble.
Hey, I'll say whatever you want me to say. If you guys want me to say something controversial, I'll say it. I'm not afraid.
Whoa.
If it makes people
It's good
mad.
to have a voice, Sean.
Yes.
It's good to have a voice.
All right, well, I think we discussed everything.
Yeah. So this was really great. If you guys agree with us, let us know in the comments below. If you didn't, also let us know.
If you've seen Far From Home, let us know your thoughts.
Yeah.
Hash it out in the comments. Think what you want to think. If you don't like Black Panther, tell people. But yeah.
Yeah. This was solid. So thank you all for listening, for tuning in to this semi-extension of the MCU podcast.
Yeah, I guess this could be an add-on to the end because it's like what we want to see next.
Yeah, yeah.
Next.
This is next.
Well, part of it.
Yeah. Well, if you stuck around for the last podcast, a little bit of what I wanted to see in the future films kind of came true with JJJ. A little bit. But anyway,
I still can't get over the scrolls.
Yeah, man, I can't believe you didn't stay.
I didn't. I thought it was the end credits. And I was like, all right, we're done. And there were still people sitting down. I'm like, why are they sitting down? I was like, there can't be another one. And then you said mid-credit scene, and I was like, huh? Mid-credits?
Mid-credit was the end credit.
This isn't right.
Sorry.
You gotta tell me.
You get it. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, now it just gives you reason to go see it again, honestly.
I'm not gonna spend that money again. You know what?
Whoa.
I spent more money on freaking popcorn and a drink than the ticket. Can someone tell me what is up with that?
Because people are sneaking in their own food and they're not making
I sneak in my own
money.
Food.
Well, yeah.
But I also bought food, so like what?
Well, I sneak in my own food and I buy food too. But it's the fact that people sneak in so much. I think they're just losing a lot of money from that.
Well, I mean,
so they got to up the ticket prices a bit.
Prices like goddamn.
Well, yeah.
I don't need to be spending
it's unfortunate, but that's how it works.
on a ticket. Like, my God. But I mean,
it's unfortunate.
Another thing, I feel like that soda makes me pee like crazy.
Yeah, when I saw the Child's Play movie, I drank soda right before, and I got up twice during the movie. I've never gotten up twice.
Exactly.
I've only
Like,
got, you know, crazy, man. I never
like I
had to
drank
pee
it
that
literally.
bad.
I chugged an iced tea before, like a half an hour. I didn't have to pee at all. I took like a sip of soda, and I'm like, I'm about to explode.
Oh my gosh.
But I left at a good time. I forget which time I left. I left at a boring part. I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
But I was like, all right. I waited a little bit. I was like, okay, I gotta find a part that doesn't look like anything's gonna happen.
You got
And
it.
then I ran to the bathroom.
Yeah. Thanks for listening once again, guys. If you made it, just to hear our thoughts, see
Yes.
what we, what we thought, if you were curious.
Let us know what's your record time for holding pee in the movie theater.
Yeah, oh, that's a great question.
Because
let us know.
All the movies I've been to in the past, since Star Wars: The Last Jedi came out, all the ones since then, I've peed at least once.
Whoa. I don't know whether to feel.
But I get a drink most of the time, so like whatever they put in that soda, I'm just peeing like a racehorse.
I don't know what I would wanted to feel just then.
All right.
It's getting weird. All right, we should. We should.
All right, bienvenidos. I don't know if I said that right, but I'm not Spanish.
Whoa. I do have to say, letting out a pee after holding in it for so long is one of the greatest feelings.
I agree.
In the world. Come on, man. I mean, you're standing in front of the urinal and it's just let it ride.
Okay, on that note.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody, to United SoundBites, and we hope to catch you again next time.